Hello and welcome back to yet another exciting session. Today I'm going to share a secret communication formula that top sales professionals use to turn even the toughest prospects into loyal and happy customers. And once you learn this, your sales conversations are going to change forever. Every salesperson wants to close more deals, handle objections smoothly, and win customers' trust faster. But most of them don't have a system to do this consistently. So today I'm going to share with you one of the most powerful frameworks, something I've taught over 10,000 professionals so far. It's called the LAOPACT Theory. Each letter of this word stands for a step that transforms the way how you talk, listen, and respond in any sales situation. If you apply this in the right way, your confidence will soar, your conversations will rise, and your customers will love buying from you. Let's dive in. The first letter is L, that stands for listen. Most salespeople hear their clients, but very few actually listen to them. When you really listen, you go beyond words. You pick up emotion, hesitation, and intent. Clients don't always say what they mean directly. For example, if a client is saying, I'll think about it, they usually mean you've not convinced me yet. So the top 1% salespeople, they don't talk or interrupt. They listen actively. They repeat the client's key phrases to show their understanding. They take notes. So the takeaway for you here is stop rehearsing your next line while your client is talking. Listen to them like a doctor diagnosing a patient. The next letter is A, which stands for acknowledge. After listening, most salespeople jump straight into pitching. That's the biggest mistake. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. When you acknowledge their problem, you make them feel seen and understood. So say things like, I completely understand where you're coming from, Mr. Prospect. That's a valid concern. A lot of my clients felt the same way before we worked together. This small step builds emotional connection between you and the customer. It shows empathy, not desperation. So the takeaway here is acknowledgement is an emotional validation. Without it, your logic will not land. The third letter is O, which stands for ownership. Here is where most salespeople go wrong. They agree with the problem, but don't own that. Taking ownership means saying, let's solve this problem together. When you own the problem, you shift from becoming a vendor to a partner. For example, if a client is saying our team's conversion rate is very low, instead of replying that's common, say something like this. All right, Mr. Customer, that's something we can definitely improve. So let's look at where the drop off is happening now. That one line shows your leadership, accountability, and expertise. The takeaway here for you is customers buy from people who take responsibility, not from those who explain the responsibility. The next letter is P, that stands for probing. This is where your sales skill shines. Probing means asking powerful and meaningful questions to uncover the real pain, not just the surface problem. Let me give you some example questions that you can ask. What has this issue costed you so far? What have you already tried to fix? And if we solve this, how much would that impact your business? See, the goal is to make the client realize the value of solving their pain, not just the price of your solution. So the takeaway here for you is never pitch until you've probed enough to understand their emotional and financial motivation. The next letter is A, which stands for act. This is where you take control and guide the conversation forward. Once you've listened, acknowledged, owned, and probed, it's time for you to act by presenting your solution confidently. So structure your pitch like this. Recap their pain and then link it to your solution and then paint the result-driven outcome. For example, so Mr. Prospect, from what you've shared so far, your main challenge is inconsistency in closing deals. Here is exactly how my 12-week sales program will fix that. We will build a prospecting system, your pitch framework, and your closing strategy, step by step. So the takeaway here is your action should always feel like a natural progression, not as a sudden sales push. The next letter is C, which stands for confirm. So once you've presented your solution, don't assume that they're convinced. Confirm it. Ask gentle questions like, does this sound like something that can work for you? Or, Mr. Customer, is this aligned with your goals? Confirming helps you gauge if they are mentally ready. If not, it opens up to new objections that you can handle gracefully. The takeaway here is confirmation prevents post call surprises. You know where they stand before ending the conversation. The last letter here is T, which stands for thank. The final step is what leaves a lasting impression. Always thank the client, whether they buy or not. Why? Because today's no could become tomorrow's yes. When you show gratitude, you build emotional equity. So always say, thank you for your time, Mr. Customer. I really appreciate you for sharing your challenges so openly. I'm glad we are connected. Whether we work together or not, I'm really happy you found value in the conversation. So the takeaway here is gratitude is not the end of a sale. It is the start of a strong relationship. So let's put all of this together. The LAOPACT flow. Listen, acknowledge, ownership, probe, act, confirm, and thank. Every great sales conversation follows this rhythm, even if subconsciously. So when you start using this LAOPACT theory, you will notice clients open up more, objections becomes opportunities, conversations feel smoother, and your close rates will skyrocket. What I want you to do is write this word LAOPACT, LAOPACT, on a sticky note near your laptop or your desktop. Review this or look at it before every sales call. I'm telling you, soon it'll become a second nature for you. All right, so the next time you get on a sales call, don't panic, don't push, just follow the LAOPACT flow. Now, I want you to comment below which part of the LAOPACT do you think you need to improve the most? Listening, probing, or confirming. Subscribe to the channel for more step-by-step lessons that will help you sell with confidence. And if you'd like me to personally guide you on building your full sales communication framework, click on my calendar link in the description or WhatsApp me directly. Also, you can check out my latest blog on the same topic. You can find it on my website, thesalesgurukul.com. I hope this video gave you clarity, structure, and confidence. Happy selling until I see you in the next one.